Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about science, pseudoscience, and God. Science, real science. What does that mean? Well, real science examines all the possibilities that can possibly be. Pseudoscience excludes God as a possibility, the thought being that there is no God, and therefore all science is natural. Most of what people believe today follows pseudoscience because most of the scientists don't believe in God. It's that simple. So they automatically exclude anything that has to do with possible divine origins. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for a lot of people, but that's not what everyone's being taught and told. Let's see how these two versions of science stack up to each other. Pseudoscience says everything that exists came from nothing. Think of that. Is that science? Do you really think it's possible everything came from nothing? Actually, it's true. Everything did come from nothing. Do you know why? God created it all. But they exclude God. They say, no, there is no God. So if you take God out of the equation, nothing comes from nothing. Always, 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 always. Think about it. So the very premise of evolution and origins is based on the fact that there can be no God. So that means everything came from nothing naturally over millions and millions of years. This is so laughable. I should be able to end this session right now. But unfortunately, I can't. Do you know why? The reasons are pretty obvious. This is what your kids are being taught, this pseudo nonsense. This is what I was taught in school. Christian youngsters go to school and they come home with all this junk in their heads that God didn't do any of this. You know, people tell me that a young earth in Genesis isn't a salvation issue. It is. When we get beat to death by pseudoscience that none of this stuff is possible, that puts a chink in our armor and we start to doubt Genesis. And if you doubt Genesis, if you doubt one line in the Bible, you start looking around and ask yourself, what else in here is wrong? Well, none of it's wrong. But inexplicably, people have swallowed this goofy premise, hook, line, and sinker. Listen closely. There is actually no real evidence to support evolution. There are no transitional fossils. The examples that have been used have all been proven to be fabricated. They're fakes. Everything that came from nothing, and what does it even mean? Isn't it just easier to believe that God created everything? Which one of those things makes more sense? Let's try it. Real science, where it's accepted God exists. God created the heavens and the earth. Pseudoscience, everything came from nothing. And they laugh at us and think our premise is crazy. Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. You want some science? Let's stop right there. Look at whatever device you are using to watch this video. It's either a laptop, a desk pad, an iPad, or a cell phone, right? Let's say most of us use cell phones. Look at your phone. What does it require in order to exist? It needs matter, right? It has to take up matter. And that matter needs to take up space. And that space and matter needs to exist right now at this time. Just like this pen. Space, time, and matter. This pen cannot exist here right now without those three things. So let's rephrase what verse 1 in Genesis says. In the beginning, time, God created the heavens, space, and the earth, matter. God created time, space, and matter. You don't get more real science than that. You just don't. Let's take another example. How many genders are there? Every rational adult understands that there are two genders, man and woman. Yes, there are mutations in all species where hermaphrodites spring up, conjoined twins spring up. In animals, we get two-headed sheep. But these are anomalies, and this happens because our world is messed up. It's fallen, and our gene pools have been corrupted because we're no longer in the pristine world since the fall. That all being said, only a female can have babies, and everybody knows this. Passing legislation to say otherwise flies in the face of real science. Real science in finding that the only possible answer is God is suppressed by the vast majority of scientists who don't believe in God. So suppressing it doesn't make it true. One last thing. What is the flood? What happened in the flood? Well, we've got whale skeletons in the desert and sea life fossils on all the highest mountains. How did they get there? If science ignores the possibility of intelligent design, it's not real science. Yet the false narrative of evolution is taken as a fact and taught in all of our schools. We need to open our eyes, folks. God is everywhere. Lord, please help us to open our eyes. Use common sense and see what's there to be seen. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.